Good morning, my friends. Kara and James Kerouac here.
Kerouac cruising.
Kerouac's cruising. So we are officially on our big road trip heading up to Idaho. And our first stop was Great Basin National Park. We really, I think, enjoyed not only the drive, but our time up there, with the exception of Las Vegas. Las Vegas traffic was a little terrible.
And I tried to plan the Las Vegas to go through Vegas early enough in the morning that we wouldn't get no traffic. But not only did I misplan that, there was a lot of road construction in Las Vegas. So it wasn't a great experience through Las Vegas, but there's reasons why I don't live in the city and I don't really like going to the city because that part of life is horrible. If you live in the city, God bless you, because I don't know how you live there.
Yeah, we don't like traffic very much.
So we drove up to Great Basin from Bullhead City. Great drive after we got out of Las Vegas. It was a wonderful drive through the mountainside and pretty much the whole way up there. From Lonnie's house to Love's truck stop, which took us 2 hours.
Oh, the Love's just outside of Vegas on the 93.
Right on the 93. We left, 6 hours from where we were staying in Bullhead to Great Basin was 6 hours exactly. I think GPS said 6 hours, 2 minutes. We left my friend Lonnie's house at 6:30 or 6 o'clock or 5:30.
I think the alarm went off at 5:30 and we were out the door by 6.
Something like that.
Way too early for Lonnie, that's for sure.
So we got to that Love's on 93. After that Love's, it literally was smooth sailing, just no traffic, easy driving.
When people think of Nevada, they think of Lake Tahoe and they think of Las Vegas, of course, number one, Las Vegas. Nevada's really, really beautiful. I just learned at Great Basin, actually, that Nevada is the most mountainous state in the United States. I would have assumed if I was doing a trivia quiz or something, I would have assumed it was Montana, named after mountains.
Well, I would Montana or Colorado.
Colorado, yeah. But we know that the eastern part of Colorado is flat as Kansas. Utah. But they've got a lot of the cliffs, the red rocks like Sedona. But yeah, it's Nevada and it's absolutely beautiful. You'll have to read my blog for some descriptions on the mountainous region, but it's just mountains for days and you never get out of them. And it's just stunning. Absolutely beautiful driving through northern Nevada. And it starts right away. As soon as you get out of Vegas and you're heading north on that 93, the views are just amazing. Right?
On both sides, east and west, snow caps. We're traveling here the 3rd and 4th week of April right now. Mm-hmm. I think we left our house April 20th, 4/20, and I think we left Lonnie's 4/23. So just to give you an idea, snow-capped mountains, we got to Great Basin not knowing what to expect. Not that we didn't know what the weather was going to be, but how much snow was actually literally on the ground.
Yeah.
We obviously follow the weather really closely while we're traveling. And I was very surprised how much snow was still on the mountaintops of Great Basin.
Follow the weather very closely while we're traveling. You and Andrew literally talk about weather 24/7, it feels like.
That's what people talk about is the weather.
It's cute.
You meet somebody new, you talk about the weather.
I love it. I love that you and Andrew talk about the weather so much. So the drive up, absolutely beautiful. We had absolutely no problem finding, but first, before that, we needed the dogs, especially Bella.
We got the dogs. 3 dogs.
Bella, if she's in the truck for too many hours, starts to get whimpery. And so we found a cool spot. It actually worked out perfectly. James was like, we should stop soon. You should check the map and see what we can find. So I pull up Google Maps, go into satellite view, and we're like half a mile from what looks like a really great turnoff with a clearing, which would be great for being able to turn around with our trailer. Everywhere we go, we got to consider this 16-foot trailer that we're pulling behind the expedition. We pull off, and it's exactly what it looked like it was going to be on the satellite. Super just off the beaten path. Not too far off the road, though. It's going to be pinned on our website.
And we climbed up a little bit up a hill. And when we got up there, and I think she took some pictures, the views from there were spectacular.
Gorgeous.
And we parked there and we set a timer and we hung out there for an hour, let the dogs just run, not on leashes, just let them run while we sat there and ate.
And we walked around with them.
And then we walked around
hiking
to stretch our legs.
And I would have been completely happy camping in this spot because the views were spectacular. We were surrounded by the junipers and piñons. And if you've heard our earlier podcast, Dispersed Camping at the Grand Canyon, you know how much I love these junipers and piñons, minus that it's allergy season. The junipers are pollinating right now, which if you're from Northern Arizona, you feel it. It's miserable, but it's absolutely beautiful area. I would have stayed there, but we were about an hour and a half away from Great Basin. And the whole purpose of us taking this route specifically was to go to Great Basin. So we kept on going. It was a 6-hour drive from Bullhead City. This is a great stopping point, great private dispersed campsite. They had a little fire pit set up, made with rocks, nice private area where you definitely could let the dogs run off leash without really any worry. We got loaded the dogs back up and continued on our last hour and a half, winding through the mountains a little bit and pretty easily, it's right on the side of the road, found our campground.
It's called Sacramento Pass.
Sacramento Pass.
And we weren't sure. This was our first real big dispersed camping. We wanted to be able to camp for free that we've experienced. We dispersed camp in Tucson, but we lived there.
Around Williams,
Arizona, Sedona, but we lived in those places. So even if we didn't find a campsite, we always could just go back home if we needed to. With no real stress. This was the first time we were relying on finding a camp spot. So we get to Sacramento. It was as easy as it was to find on a map. We pull in, and it's first come, first serve. We're planning our day, so we're arriving between 2 and 3, and we didn't want to be near people. So as we pull in, there's two campers that are there. So we drive the back road trying to find a different place to go. And then I was a little worried, so I was like, we should just go back and secure a campsite, even if we have to camp with people. So we did that. That was a mistake.
For us,
because the dogs had to be on the leash the whole time. They were tied to a pole, tied to the picnic table. Just wasn't that great. But we set up camp. We stayed there. The next day, we're,
unhitched from the trailer. So we've got
unhitched from the trailer and we're going to go scout around and check out the area. And lo and behold, we drive down another dirt road. There was campsites there with nobody. And we got to park the truck at one of those campsites, and we let the dogs run for about an hour and a half on these really cool rock formations that I'm pretty sure Kara Ping put a pin there so people could find it. There was caves up in the rocks. We did a little boulder climbing and hiked around. It was a really cool spot.
The views up there are incredible. What was it, Mount Wright that you can see there? It's the second tallest mountain in Nevada. That's in Great Basin. Snow covered. Just really, really beautiful views for days. Northern Nevada is really remote, really rural. So there's nothing around. You're not seeing cities. You're just seeing valleys and mountains and green. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
So I do recommend Sacramento Pass as a camp spot. It was pretty good. We had no problems there. We left our trailer there and went and explored the area. So we get up to Great Basin. A couple things that we wanted to do was Lehman Caves. And then they have a tourist road or scenic drive, which is like 20 miles. So we're excited to go do these two things. It's a Thursday, fully booked on Lehman Cave tours. And then we were like, all right, we'll do it Friday, fully booked. Our bad. Really pay attention and book in advance if you want to do the cave tour.
I knew it was booked in advance. I was hoping that there would be some cancellations so we could slide in, and it didn't happen for us, unfortunately.
But really beautiful views. I definitely would go to Great Basin, and we're going to go back. So then the other thing we really wanted to do there was that scenic drive that goes up 10,000 feet. Well, we start driving up there. They have the road blocked at 7,500 feet. Because the snowpack was down to 8,000 feet and the road was unpassable. Same thing with hiking. Now, we could have rented some snowshoes. There was people that rented snowshoes, and you can hike in snowshoes up there. We didn't because of the dogs. We ended up turning back, and we went to a place called Strawberry Creek, which was another cool spot, and the dogs got to go swimming there. Kara had some work to do, so we were looking for a place that we had service. One of the things at Sacramento Pass,
No cell
there
phone.
is no cell phone service at all. So we were about 15, not even 50 miles. What do you say? 7 miles down the road.
Yeah, not far at all.
I think 7 miles down the road, there's a sign that said Strawberry Pass. It's on the map, a Great Basin. So it was really just a creek. People go up there just to check it out.
Yeah, you go all the way down to the end of the road, and there's a trailhead. So there is a trail that you can hike from there. But yeah, we're looking for cell phone service, and the creek was nice and clean from all the rain runoff. One of the cool things, and I didn't realize, the Great Basin isn't just the national park, or the national park isn't just a major portion of the Great Basin. The Great Basin is actually gigantic. It's most of the state, if not all of the state of Nevada, and a little bit of California, and I think maybe Utah's in it too. And what is unique about the Great Basin, if you haven't heard or don't know, that all of the water in this area never makes it to the ocean. It all primarily comes from snow. So they get the majority of their moisture
Snow and rain.
In the winter months. And then, of course, the snowpack in the spring starts to melt. And then that creates all of these streams and rivers. And they all make their way down into the basin in different areas. Obviously, again, it's the entire state of Nevada, so it's not just all in one lower area. There's no outlet for this water. It all stays in Nevada. So eventually it either evaporates or replenishes the aquifer, soaks into the ground. So that's what's unique about the region. And because of so many different mountains in the area, they actually have varying ecosystems. So the animals aren't exactly the same from one area to another because the mountains divide this region so significantly. So there's just a lot of really interesting information. But they have, from the top of the mountains, over 13,000 feet in elevation. So you've got the alpine territory all the way down into the basins is like high desert. So it's
sagebrush,
lots of sagebrush. So it's really beautiful area and unique for what it is. So that's kind of fun. So being here the time of the year that we are, we've got the snow melt going on. So all of these streams and creeks and everything are flowing really beautifully. So for that side of it, spring is a great time to be here. They are estimating right now, when we talk to the rangers, that they're going to be opening that scenic drive that we didn't get to hit. They're shooting for the first week of May. It's all just going to depend on the storm system that we've been kind of floating around, how much snow that's going to drop, if they're going to be able to make their date. Definitely check the National Park Service website before you arrive on if it's open. I know I always say for the Grand Canyon region that we always get one more snowstorm before Mother's Day. So they might be the same situation up here. We are much further north, that they really just can't predict when they can really open that road. I was really hoping when we were planning this trip that road would be open by the time we got here, and it just obviously didn't happen. So we just have to come back. Oh, no.
One of the things that was unique that I noticed, we live in high desert, pretty much the same elevation we camped at, was how much more water that they have versus us. We live on top of the Coconino Plateau. All the water pretty much runs into the Grand Canyon and evaporates. The Great Basin, there's mountains all around that area, and the water runs right back into this farmland. And there was cows grazing everywhere, elk, a lot of wildlife.
A lot of lakes.
But there was a lot of ponds. People's houses had ponds. We don't have anything like that in or around northern Arizona. So northern Nevada definitely had more water than we ever see at home. And that's because it stays within itself. So the water runs off and then fills their aquifers, and it fills all their little ponds, which that was a big difference. The landscape looks the same trees, same sagebrush everywhere, same vast open land, but very different as far as water was concerned.
And then the rocks were very different too. The rock formation, or the little mountain that we were playing with the dogs on, boulder climbing and all that. In Arizona, or where we are from in Arizona, you've got this moss that grows on a lot of the cinder rocks, and it stains them green. And there, it's not cinder rock. It's like what'd you say? It was quartzite? Quartzite. This moss grows on, and then of course it dies, and it kind of like dries on. And it's the same thing at home, but there it dries in an orange and a pink also. So all this quartzite is stained with these greens, oranges, and pinks, and it is really I couldn't believe how beautiful I picked up some. I'm going to play with them and see if I can make something cool out of them.
We're going to make some jewelry.
See if we can make some jewelry out of it. Why not?
We're going to sell you jewelry on our website, handmade.
Maybe to come. Why
handmade
not?
Rocks.
These were beautiful rocks. I'll send some pictures or put some pictures up on the website or Facebook page, all that jazz. But they were really, I was like flabbergasted at how beautiful and sparkly these rocks were. So I'm excited to share that with you guys.
So we were going to stay at Great Basin one more day, but we jetted one day early. We couldn't get into the cave tour, and the weather changed really quickly. And I checked the forecast twice a day, and changed really quickly. And they were forecasting 1 to 3 inches of snow on Friday. So we actually left on Thursday, and we got Craters of the Moon a little early, set up camp, and that's pretty much where we're at right now. We set it up camp, found a great camp spot again. We'll have it on the website pinned. Pretty nice private campsite right on a river. If you had an Idaho fishing license, you could fish for trout.
So there is a couple of kudos that I want to throw out there. Oh, look at that. What is that, a herring that just landed right there?
I can't see it.
It's just.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Wow.
Cool. Norman would be going crazy if he was not locked in the truck right now. So one of the kudos I want to throw out there is, first of all, Nevada has done an amazing job on their highways. Not only, we were on where we stayed, Great Basin National Park. Our campground was off of Highway 50. And if you're not familiar, it's considered the loneliest highway in America. It's the least driven highway in America. It's absolutely beautiful, very well maintained. You would think they would let this road go to crap since nobody drives on it. And it is absolutely beautiful. The 93 all the way through Nevada, absolutely great highway. They've got lots of, now if you're familiar with Northern Arizona, the Highway 64 is probably one of the busiest highways in America. You know, you got the Grand Canyon at the end of it. 6 million visitors per year go to the Grand Canyon National Park, and it is just one lane in each direction, super heavy traffic. The 93, nowhere near as traffic as the Highway 64, and they've got passing lanes all up and down this highway, which is fantastic. And then on the other side of it, especially near and dear to my heart after our car accident in December, they've got wildlife crossing zones. So they've got these land bridges. You've never heard of them. They're a bridge that goes over the highway that is
fenced.
Yeah, it's fenced on either side so that the deer and elk or whatever wildlife can't cross into the highway. They have to go up and over these land bridges, and these land bridges have grass and shrubbery and everything. It's just an extension of the natural habitat around. Nevada, major kudos to you for the way you maintain your highways. And then I also want to talk about the BLM campgrounds that we've been staying at. Sacramento Pass. It's not a great spot for us because we really like being able to let the dogs run and play. But this place has vault toilets. They have
dumpster.
Fire pits. They have ramadas, picnic tables. So it's really set up very nicely. It's what you would pay for if you're going to pay for a campground in places in Arizona. You're having all of these amenities, so you can really pack light. You really could go without bringing a grill. They have a charcoal grill. They've got the fire rings that have the grill over top. You don't have to bring your portable toilet, your little privacy tent. So you could really camp a bit lighter. Same thing with where we found in Idaho, and we're going to talk about that a little bit deeper in our next episode. But they've got these BLM campgrounds. So major kudos to Nevada and Idaho for putting in these really great facilities that really help prevent people from, unfortunately, destroying the forest. Yeah, just trashing the land. We like the privacy. We like being in the middle of the woods, again, so that the dogs can run and play. There's been a lot of money and energy put into infrastructure to plan these spots out so that they're in beautiful locations and have a lot of really great amenities. So thank you, Nevada and Idaho, for offering these.
For free. I mean,
for free, exactly.
I'm very impressed. We usually disperse camping in Arizona. It's dispersed camping. You have no amenities. You're bringing your table. You're either making a fire pit or bringing a fire pit. No vault toilet. You're bringing a 5-gallon bucket with a toilet top on it with bags. So it has been, we weren't sure what to expect, but it's been great.
Oh, and so if you are going to do camping in the Great Basin area and you take advantage, even if you go, they've got the Humboldt National Forest close by where you could really disperse camp like what we're more accustomed to. In the national park, in the Great Basin National Park, they have several campgrounds that have the same exact amenities of what's being offered at the free BLM campground that we stayed at, but they have a dump station. They've got a water station there so you can refill the water in your camper. And they've got a ton of dumpsters where you can throw your garbage all for free. So that's in the national park. So before you head on to your next destination, if you've got a camper trailer, you want to clean up and get ready for your next spot before you hit the road. Great Basin National Park, like the Grand Canyon, has
a dump station,
dumpster,
water, it was all for free.
All for free.
You just pull up and you take care of it yourself. You refill, throw your trash away, clean your black tank and gray tank.
Yep.
That's really convenient.
Right before you get to the Lehman Caves Visitor Center. So that was really, really great. But I think that's all we have for you guys on Great Basin. Again, if you guys have any questions at all about Great Basin or anywhere else that we have talked about or haven't talked about, please feel free to ask us questions. And we would love topics of conversation. We want to talk about what's interesting to you, what you want to know about. So as usual, you can email us, join@carowaxcruising.com. Facebook message us, Facebook comment, whatever the case is, however you want to get a hold of us, whatever's most convenient for you. Text us if you've got our number. Thank you so much for listening, and we love you.
See you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Carowax Cruising.
We're thrilled to have you with us.
We had a blast recording this episode and hope you enjoyed our adventures as much as we enjoyed sharing them.
For more amazing pictures and stories, visit our website and blog at carowaxcruising.com.
And join the conversation on Facebook at Carowax Cruising or email us at join@carowaxcruising.com.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving us a review.
Your support helps us reach more listeners and allows us to continue sharing our travel experiences with you.
It's a generous favor that means the world to us.
Thank you so much for listening to Carowax Cruising.
Until next time, happy travels.